Hello listeners, this is Kat, and welcome back to Put Your Hands Up Podfic. This is the continuation of See You in the Morning. This is Part 8, Chapter 8, entitled Intruder Alert, Intruder Alert. Izuku woke up on top of his still-made bed way too early for his liking. Sadly, he has to actually get up and head to UA. They had promised Recovery Girl that he would be in for a checkup before classes today, after all. Getting dressed and grabbing a granola bar, he really needs to go grocery shopping soon. He grabs his backpack and heads out, making sure to check for any obvious bruises from his little face plant nap in his entryway last night. Thankfully, there's nothing overly obvious. He's walking down one of the many hallways at UA when he finds himself on the ground unexpectedly for the third time in 24 hours. What is wrong with him recently? Izuku looks up and wants to laugh. We've got to stop meeting like this. It's the cute, purple-haired teenager from yesterday, and he literally ran into them again. What is wrong with him? This person's going to think that he's doing this on purpose if this trend continues. You're telling me I'm really sorry. Shinso Itoshi. And what's your name, Greenie? Izuku can't help but feel his face heat up at the small, tired smirk the purple-haired teenager, Shinso, has when calling him Greenie. Come on, brain, come on. It's a basic question. You should know this. I'm Midori Izuku, but you can just call me Midori, or Izu, if you want. Great, he's going to think Izuku's weird. Nothing new, just sad since Shinso seems interesting enough, and he's really pretty. Speaking of the purple-haired teenager, he looks slightly taken aback by Izuku's offer before he smirks again. Why are they both still just sitting on the floor? But damn, that smirk. Okay, Izu. You can call me Hito if you want. Can I call you Toshi instead? My aunt's name is Hito, so I think I'd get the names mixed up if I called you Hito. Izuku's face is officially on fire. He's going to pass away now, though he notices the purple-haired teen isn't faring much better, face painted with red. At least he doesn't look like an off-brand strawberry, though, like Izuku knows he does. Sure. Toshi works. It's almost like a spell was broken, because suddenly, they're both looking around at the empty hall that they're both just sitting in, and Izuku finally notices that when he ran into Toshi, he somehow managed to spill a bunch of the contents of his backpack. Great. How about we get off this floor? I'm sure they clean it very well, but still, I've been spending enough time on floors in the past couple of days. Might as well not spend any extra time there when I don't have to be. Toshi just laughs as he stands up and offers Izuku his hand to get up as well. Why have you been spending time on floors recently? It's a long story. Actually, you were there for one of the occasions. The other teen doesn't look nearly as pumped as Izuku was trying to act at the mention of their first meeting yesterday during his panic attack. Oh, are you okay, by the way? You looked pretty banged up yesterday. Yep, I'm all good, though I do have to head to the infirmary right now, so Recovery Girl can do a quick checkup. Izuku doesn't want Toshi to leave yet. Want to come with me? I'm sure it'll be really quick. The other boy just smiles and nods, and they're off to the races. Well, not exactly, but they start the journey to the school infirmary together, just chatting about classes so far and their classmates as they go. Actually, speaking of classmates, next to none of mine are talking to me at all. Want to sit with me at lunch? We could go eat somewhere other than the cafeteria. Sure, Izu. I know just the place we could eat. I'll meet you at your homeroom at lunch. Perfect. Oh, we're here. They walk in, both trying to spot the healing pro hero, only to see Present Mike instead. Hey, little listeners, are you both looking for Recovery Girl? She just stepped out a minute ago to go grab something. Oh, okay, I just have to have a checkup with her before classes. Izuku trails off, honestly not sure where to go from there. He still finds it kind of weird to talk with his English teacher, since he knows so many random personal facts about the pro hero. So, Midori, how's classes been? Huh, so Present Mike also calls him Midori. It's kind of nice, though he notices the look of confusion crossing Toshi's face at the endearing nickname. They've been okay. I really enjoyed math class yesterday. The assignment he gave us was super fun. Both Toshi and Present Mike look at him oddly for that, but it's the truth. He had been teaching himself math and other course material for years. His teachers at Aldera liked to put questions on his tests that were a couple levels up so that they could try to bring his grade down. So he started learning the material for those levels as well. Then found out higher-level math is more interesting than middle school math, and accidentally learned more than just a couple of levels above his grade in level math. But it wasn't really anything special, it's just math. Everything is already predetermined with math, you just have to know the correct formula. Plus, Izuku had heard often enough from everyone that he was bad at school, so obviously he wasn't all that great, even if he did manage to understand some higher-level math. If it's the same assignment he gave my class, it wasn't fun. That was like college-level math. Izuku honestly doesn't know how to respond to his friend. Are they friends now? He hopes they are. Thankfully, he's saved by Recovery Girl walking in just at the right time so Izuku can avoid that entire conversation. No need for his friend and neighbor to know how stupid he is. Good morning, dearies. Here's your package, Azashi. She hands their English teacher a bag, and he says a quick but enthusiastic goodbye before leaving. Now, Midoriya, I'm glad to see you back here as you were told to. Please go sit on that bed there so I can check over everything, then decide if another dose of my quirk is necessary. Shinso, shouldn't you be getting to class? The bell's going to ring in 5 minutes. Izuku watches as his purple-haired friend glances down at the time on his phone before saying a rushed goodbye to him and Recovery Girl walking out the door yelling back that he'll meet Izuku at 1A's classroom for lunch. That boy needs to sleep more, and so do you, Midoriya. I'll be using my quirk a little bit on you today, but you still don't have much energy at all. I suggest you take a nap during lunch and go to bed early tonight. With that, she leans forward and kisses Izuku on the forehead. Quite the feat for such a short lady, but she manages. Izuku feels a soothing wave pass over his body, and all the new aches and pains that he'd been ignoring from yesterday's incident fade away. Thank fuck. Though now he's tired again, Izuku resists the urge to groan in annoyance while in front of the nurse. Thank you, Recovery Girl. Izuku makes sure to bow deeply. Most nurses and doctors won't heal him outside of safe space doctors and nurses, so her doing this without complaint deserves many thanks. Oh, no need for that, dear. Just doing my duty. Now, you better be off to class. Wouldn't want to be late. Morning classes are pretty mundane. His neighbor does a lesson on training safety as well as quirk safety with the class. Bakugo's oddly absent, but Aizawa doesn't seem concerned. Then it's math class. Ectoplasm hands back the class graded assignments and starts a lesson about the most basic math formula in the assignment, claiming by the end of the semester they're going to know all the formulas in that assignment problem and be able to solve the question. Which is confusing. Izuku already knows how to solve it. He looks down at his page, which just has 100% marked at the top and a scrawl of neat writing asking him to stay after class for a minute. Izuku feels bugs crawling under his skin at the request. Why does he want Izuku to stay after class? He doesn't like staying after class to talk with teachers. It doesn't end well. Though if he has to stay, he's hoping Ectoplasm is upset with him rather than happy. When teachers are happy with him, things are worse. Never again. Most of the rest of math class passes in a blur. Between anxiety and already knowing the material, there's not much for his brain to do other than stress. Soon enough, for better or worse, everyone in his class is clearing the room and heading to lunch. Izuku stays where he's seated, muscles tense. Midoriya, thank you for staying after class. I wanted to speak with you about your math going forward this semester. Izuku looks up to stare at his pro-hero math teacher. He's not sure what kind of expression he has on his face, but Ectoplasm chuckles. You aced the entire semester material by getting 100% on the first assignment. May take a couple of days, but I want to have you take a test for me. It'll help me to gauge what level math you're at and decide what your semester material will be based on that. He pauses, seemingly waiting for Izuku to say something. He doesn't. It's better not to speak with teachers. Does that sound good to you, Midoriya? He just nods, because what else can he do? Okay, I'll email you with more details sometime, either tonight or tomorrow. Sensing the end of the conversation is coming near, Izuku grabs his packed bag and stands up to leave. Off you go to lunch now. Have a nice rest of your day. Thank you, Ectoplasm-sensei. Stupid stutter. But he's finally free and nothing bad happened. Yet. Oh shit. Izuku is suddenly reminded of his purple-haired friend's promise to meet him for lunch when he sees Toshi leaning against the wall across from 1A's classroom on his phone. He looks up at the sound of the huge door closing behind Izuku. There you are. Was starting to wonder if you ditched me. He says it like it's a joke, but Izuku notices the awkward way he rubs the back of his neck while saying it and how his muscles seem a bit tense. Honestly, he kind of reminds himself of Izuku, if he was more apathetic and tired presenting. No, sorry, Toshi. Ectoplasm-sensei had to talk to me about classwork. I wouldn't ditch you. More surprised you haven't ditched me. Why would I ditch you? Oh, shit. Dug that hole himself, did he? Well, time to face the music. Hopefully he's not about to lose his only friend before even a day of friendship. Because I'm quirkless? The other boy just looks shocked, his whole body going still. I'm really sorry I didn't tell you earlier. It's fine if you don't want to eat lunch with me anymore. I also won't call you Toshi if you want. Stupid, stupid, stupid. What was Izuku expecting? Whoa, Izuku, it's fine. I don't care that you're quirkless, so long as you're fine being friends with someone with a villain's quirk. And now Izuku's the one relaxing, and Toshi is tense and waiting for backlash. He would never do that. No quirk is a villainous quirk. Are you sure you're okay with me being quirkless? Because Izuku doesn't want this to be a trick, or for Toshi to realize in a couple of hours or minutes that he doesn't actually want a quirkless friend and ditches Izuku. Better to get the pain over with and done than be given false hope. He learned that the hard way, like everything in his life. My quirk is brainwashing. Still sure that it's not a villainous quirk. There's a hard tone to his friend's voice, but Izuku is stuck thinking about all the applications of a quirk called brainwashing. Is it a long-term type quirk? Like maybe physical contact and say something, then continue to do it over and over, like dosages, and it change the affected person to believe or behave as they're suggested by the user? Or is it more like the short-term brainwashing, like the magic trick known as hypnotizing from before Quirked era. Is it activated by touch, or maybe it's voice, since Toshi has a very alluring voice, which is common in people with voice-based quirks, such as Present Mike. Whoa, okay, I can't follow all of that. Oh, sorry, was I mumbling again? Yes, but it's okay, just... An expectant expression fills his face, purple eyes slightly shadowed still, but Izuku thinks he sees a spark of hope. His new friend is reminding him more and more of himself, which isn't a good thing. Like I said, your quirk isn't villainous. No quirk is a villain's quirk. A soft look takes over Toshi's face. Thanks. Sorry we got so sidetracked. You want to go get that spot I mentioned so we can eat lunch? Sure. They start off into the maze of UA, with Toshi leading the way. They chat as they walk, a lot more relaxed now that they've both gotten past the conversation around quirks for now. The whole walk, Izuku feels a warmth in his chest. Sadly, before they reach their destination, a loud alarm starts going off, and the sound of chaos emanates from a distance. The two students look at each other and start running toward the sound. Aizawa, your kid is too smart. Shota looks up to stare at Ectoplasm weirdly as he flops down onto the space beside Shota on the couch in the staff room. He already knows the entirety of the material for this semester. I'm having him take an evaluation test sometime soon so I can know where he's currently at in levels. Shota thinks back to his conversation with Nezu the other day, the kid tied for the highest written exam score with a kid who had a quirk similar to Nezu. Nezu mentioned he scored high on his written entrance exam. Ectoplasm just pales. Nezu has noticed his smarts. Shit. Maybe I should talk to him about creating the evaluation test. Probably. Midnight chirps from her place by the coffee table, sipping tea. Ectoplasm just groans. Suddenly the intruder alarm is going off, and all the pros jumping to their feet and rushing out of the lounge. Hopefully it's nothing major, but it's hard to get into UA, so his wish probably won't be granted. It was just the press, though no one knows how they managed to break down part of the wall and gate around UA. They'd ended up calling the police, and fines for trespassing and property damage were handed out to all the reporters who had crossed into UA's property. Sadly, between all this, he hadn't had a chance to speak with Nezu about his search on Midori's aunt, or inform him of everything that had happened last night, or even to pull his elusive little neighbor to the side to check in on him. Shota had been trying to find the right time all day, but every time he got close, the kid would slip away, or Shota didn't have the time. It was getting frustrating. Though his husband had told him that Midori was at Recovery Girls this morning, and promised, at least, that the kid was physically, if nothing else, fine. Last night was still weighing heavily on Shota, and if he saw Seisan right now, he'd probably get into trouble for attacking a civilian, but seeing the kid in person helped a bit. It's now after school hours, when Shota finally knocks on the large wooden doors of Nezu's office, though sadly he never got to talk with Midori privately to check in on him. Hopefully he'll be at the kitchen window tonight. Come in. He pushes inside and is greeted by his boss sipping tea, a pile of papers on the side of his desk, and his computer turned to be viewable for both of them, and a steaming cup of coffee waiting for him. Damn genius of a rat. What did you find? He all but demands. He's concerned. Bite him. At first, not much at all, which was to be expected. All the paperwork and online files suggest that Midori has been living with his aunt, Hinto, for the past 10 months, after moving closer to UA to apply and hopefully attend our school. Likely, since it's one of the few high schools open to the quirkless, though that doesn't make sense, since after a bit more digging, another file suggests that Midoriya had moved into the apartment across from you and Hisashi 14 months ago, and the apartment itself is registered under his name, but a fake age and a fake quirk file. What? Shota almost doesn't hear everything his boss just said. From shock, was he implying that Midori had been living by himself? Where does the aunt fit into all this? Suddenly he's reminded of her words from the other night, saying that she could stay the night at the apartment if his student wanted. It had sounded weird then, but now Shota felt sick. Did Midori live completely alone? No, he couldn't be. He's just a kid. Maybe the aunt is just super busy, and it's mainly just Midori in the apartment. But then the apartment is registered under his name, so maybe she had some reason that she couldn't have put the apartment under her name. Something, because no way has his little green neighbor been living all by himself for the past year, especially not when him and Zashi had been literally right there. The thoughts swirl violently around Shota's mind, images of an abusive Seisan, a hurt Midori, and a lonely Midori all playing on the insides of his eyelids. When did he even close his eyes? He can barely breathe or think over the sound of blood rushing by his ears. He needs to calm down. The kid is okay, last he saw. He's okay. He's okay. Warm hands hold his own. Hey, Sho, could you just breathe with me for a second? I know you're worried about our little listener, but we need you to calm down. Suddenly, his green-eyed husband is in front of him, the one holding his hands, a practiced grounding technique they both knew worked best for Shota. There you are. Just take a minute. We're both fine waiting, kitten. If Shota wasn't just calming down from what seemed to be a panic attack of some sort, he would have swatted his husband for using such an affectionate nickname in front of their boss. But as it is, it just makes him feel loved and safe. If Shota hadn't had a panic attack, he would have also seen the evaluative gaze of Nezu waiting to see how he would react to his quirkless student needing help. But Shota didn't see any of that. Damn his amazing husband. They all sit in silence for a couple of minutes, allowing him to calm down fully and collect his thoughts. Okay. Sorry, we can continue. His boss just nods. Sadly, even with all his paperwork available, it doesn't tell us much as to what is really happening in our student's life at home. Everything suggests the aunt is very kind, and other good qualities, but the whole situation seems questionable at best and abusive at worst with Midoriya and her. Why did you say aunt like that? Hizashi asked, leaning forward, a look of worry and slight frustration painted across his features. Shota could have sworn Nezu's eyes lit up with joy at his husband's question. Well, there's actually no connection between the two. There are a few pieces of official-looking public files which claim that she is the younger sister of Midoriya's father, but there are no other records to support that. There is, however, a birth certificate for one Sei Hinto, which claims that she is the only child of Sei Yorashi and Sei Hana, only cousin being a Sei Fuwashi, born to her dad's brother. In short, her and Midoriya have no relation at all officially, outside of a few easily edited public files, which apparently were only updated with this information within the last 10 months or so, nor do they likely live together, or as her residence is stated to be at a different apartment building about 20 minutes of a walk from your apartment. Neither Shota nor Hizashi move for a couple of seconds after Nezu finishes speaking, their minds whirling with all the new and very concerning information. Well, that's a problem. Yeah, Zashi, that about sums it up. All right, listeners, this concludes Chapter 8 of See You in the Morning. Chapter 9 is next. Please let me know your thoughts and reactions, and as always, thank you so much for listening.